Now on 3, we are joined by author Marvin Peake, the author of Out of the Tunnel, an epic tale of battles, breakthroughs, and new beginnings. Thank you so much for your time today, Marvin. Very excited to hear what all went into this book. I know there was a lot of inspiration from your life prior to this coming out in July when it was released. So tell us a little about that background and what went into this story.
Taylor, thank you for having me. It's an honor to be here. I was divinely manipulated into doing this book. I never intended to tell these stories. There are some public figures and high-profile folks of intimate stories that I'm revealing. It's all safe and good, but it's exciting as well. There was an author, Laura Day, a best-selling author, who came to me at one of my speaking engagements, and she said, "Hey, you need to tell your story." She said, "The world is suffering, and the world is going to continue to suffer until you tell your story. You didn't live your life just for you to keep it to yourself. And if you don't tell the story, I'm going to consider you very selfish." And I'd never been called selfish before. So it's sort of a motivating factor to get me out to start writing this book and share my story and share some insights to how you can overcome difficulty, stress, setback, poverty, hardship, and get to the other side to a world and a life that you can create of your own.
All right, and you mentioned some of those issues I feel like many people face: poverty, stress, anxiety, all those sorts of things. So in what ways do you feel this story maybe can help people learn from you, the lessons you took, in ways that you coped and dealt with those kinds of issues that lots of people are facing out there?
Well, the first thing is to eliminate all excuses. If anyone has a right to make excuses, it would be me, growing up homeless and living in extreme poverty, growing up around crime and drug-infested neighborhoods. But I wanted to break through from being a victim. And that means taking responsibility for my life and my circumstances. One of the easiest things to do that we do as humans is that we love to point fingers and blame other folks for our shortcomings. But it's an addiction that we need to break. And sometimes it's a cyclical generational trauma that needs to be broken. And so I learned things about myself to be resilient and know the difference between resilience and resistance, and to persevere, to break through. And I learned things of how the universe works, how humanity works, how we get along with each other. I also understood that when it's all said and done, when I create the life that I want, what I visualize, what I emotionalize, what I vocalize, that the universe, God, source, or whatever we believe in, has no choice but to materialize. Holidays, since it's the holiday season, I didn't have many of them to celebrate and enjoy. I was a grown man. I was in the military when I slept in a bed for the first time. But what was important to me is giving. Understanding that reciprocity is a part of nature, everything that we are and everything that we do. So I don't go into relationships to give, to take, I go in to give. And one of the things that I learned about people and myself is that you really don't know who a person is to you until they can no longer get what they want from you. Mm-hmm. So more than anything, more than giving gifts and presents, the NTS, it's more important to give presents, NCE, at the end, so that people can know that I'm here for you, that I love you, that I honor you, that I'm here, and that my presence is more important than any material thing that I could ever give you.
All right, some great messages, as you mentioned, heading into that holiday season, really remembering that giving your presents and not presents, yes, gifts-wise, obviously more important. So if people want to read more about your story, learn some of these lessons, where can they get that book?
Wherever books are sold, Barnes & Noble, Books A Million, Amazon, of course, my website, marvinpeake.com. Everywhere where books are sold. And one of the last things I want to say, we live in a society that promotes quitting and giving up. There's no reason for us to ever give up and quit and make excuses, because now we celebrate people quitting. And I could never be here before you now. I could never write this book and have the kind of impact that I'd like to have on people's lives if I were to give up, make excuses, and quit.
All right, great message to leave everyone with. And thank you so much for your time today, Marvin.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.